Okay, I'm speaking with Tom Naumann from Sinner and also Primal Fear. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you very much, because the weekend is right in front of me. So I will have some nice cold beers with my buddies and a barbecue. So yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, well, we got
The
Fourth of
future
July.
is so bright. I gotta wear shades. So.
Yeah, we have Fourth of July weekend coming up here, so everybody's doing the same thing, grilling
So
and
there will be big party, yeah.
yes, drinking and grilling and hanging out and celebrating Independence Day with fireworks. Absolutely.
Yeah, but like for us Germans, like American beer is like making love in a canoe. It's fucking close to water. So
All right, so you got a brand new Sinner album coming out in a couple of weeks, and it's fantastic. I'm really enjoying
oh,
it.
oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I know you got two singles. I was interesting. I saw the you guys had the lyric video for Brotherhood, and then I actually saw the lyrics posted on another site, completely incorrect. even though
Completely incorrect.
completely incorrect, even though the lyric video has all the right lyrics, somebody else posted the lyrics completely incorrect. It's like, why bother when you had the lyric video with the actual
Uh,
lyrics?
who needs lyrics? Like, ah.
Yeah. Well, actually, my favorite song on the new album is Gravity. I think Gravity, stupid people and
Okay.
all that stuff.
That's so funny, because everybody I talked to so far has a different favorite song on that
Yeah.
album. And that's pretty cool, like, because that underlines that there's not a bad song on the album. Like, sometimes you have like two or three highlights of an album, and then the rest is like your mediocre stuff. But this time, everybody was like, "Oh, I love The Last Generation. I love Bulletproof. I love The Man They Couldn't Hang. I love Gravity. I love it." Oh, good. I'm fine with that. So, but I think that we really did a good album, and
You did.
we have a lot of strong songs on that album.
You do.
And for me, actually, I cannot tell you what is my favorite song, because, first of all, I listen to all the songs probably 1,000 times, and yeah, and it depends on my mood. Sometimes I listen to Brotherhood, sometimes I listen to The Last Generation, The Man Who Couldn't Hang, Refuse to Surrender. So it really depends on my mood and on the day.
Well, I think one of the things that appeals to me with Gravity is the female vocals chime in, and also is that also the Georgia chick who played on the Santa
Yeah,
Muerte?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
Gio, yeah.
right. Okay,
So
and
we would have loved to have Gio on more tracks on the album, but she has her own band, and yeah, the time schedule was like, so we did not find the time to make more songs together with her. But maybe the next time, who knows?
now is Sasha singing way more than Matt on this new album, or is it like half
Mm,
and half?
no, Sasha was only singing a couple of choruses in the back,
Choruses, okay.
so it's like, so the most of the time it's Matt we are listening to.
Even
So
on the
it's like
Killers
Matt.
on the Killers cover, that's still Matt.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I thought maybe that was all
So,
Sasha.
so we have Matt probably on every song,
Okay.
and then here and there we have some additions from our guest singers on the choruses, and maybe like we have Eric Martinson from the Danish, no, Swedish band Eclipse, and he did
Love.
some stuff in the bridge and in the middle eight and all that stuff. But the rest is all sung by Matt.
Okay. I love Eclipse. That's awesome that you get guest vocals by him as well.
Yeah, yeah. It's so funny, because we Sinner released the first album in 1982, like
Mm-hmm.
40 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's amazing that we are still in the business after 40 years, and like when you be on tour with a band that exists for 40 years, and then we have Prime Fear, which exists for 25 years right now, and so we played a lot of shows, we played a lot of festivals, we did a lot of touring, and so we met people, and then you play a festival, and then you hang out with Eric, and you have a couple of beers. Then 2 weeks later, you see him again in another festival. You talk again to this guy. Then you start writing on Instagram, Facebook, or on any other social media, and then all of a sudden you become friends. And then as we recorded the album and we had this pandemic, we asked our friends if they would like to be a part of our new album and if they want to be involved. So we asked Ronnie Romero from Rainbow, we asked Tom England from Evergrey, and all the guys. And so they all agreed and they were all happy that they could help and participate on the album. And yeah, it was really, really good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so good. You got so many guest musicians and so many guest vocalists to assist with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and you said 40 years for Sinner. You're right. And Matt sang on every Sinner album, so it's, for me, Sinner's synonymous with Matt's vocals. So,
Oh, yeah.
I
It's
kind of was,
amazing.
I was kind of hoping. How is his health? Is he still okay, or is he recovering, or?
He's totally, he's really on a good way. He's recovering. I think he's at the rehab right now, but I think as far as I know, that he will be back home in 2 or 4 weeks. And then he will have like some physiotherapy, all that stuff. And yeah, but he's doing good. And we are all happy that he has a speedy recovery so far. And yeah, and I think that we'll hear a lot of Matt in the upcoming future.
And will Sinner be able to tour then once he's back? And
I hope so. I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor. I cannot say anything about it.
right.
The only thing that I know that is we will play a festival show in Germany in August, and we will help a substitute for that.
Okay.
That's the only thing I know so far. We are having talks of doing a tour with Sinner, but it's pretty tough at the moment because every band wants to go on tour and a lot of venues closed. And yeah, it's a pretty tough market right now. And we don't want to go on tour and coming back home being bankrupt.
Right.
So we'll really need to discuss it if it makes any sense to go on tour. And then we do not know if the pandemic will come back in September, October. So we will have to wait and see. So
Yeah.
it's like, well,
Right. Well, I've been listening to not old Sinner, Millennia Sinner, like End of Sanctuary, Nature of Evil, a lot of the albums you played on, the Nuclear Blast
yeah.
albums. Let's just say Nuclear Blast albums. And those albums are so fantastic too. And it's interesting because early Sinner from the 80s, from 40 years ago, was just straight metal. But it seemed like once the Nuclear Blast albums came out, you guys almost had a power metal vibe because you got a little heavier, a little faster, and everything. And I think the new album, it seemed like for a while, for about most of the AFM albums by Sinners, had that more rockin' vibe, more the Thin Lizzy, love of Thin Lizzy, worship of
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy vibe. But it seems like now with the new album with Brotherhood, you guys have got back to that Nuclear Blast sound with more of a power metal vibe, a lot more guitar solos. I mean, obviously the 40 Days and 40 Nights is an homage to Thin Lizzy, but
Hmm.
the rest of it has that more that Nature of Evil and the End of Sanctuary and some of the other albums that Nuclear Blast put out that had that power metal vibe. And speaking of Primal Fear, I just interviewed not too long ago Ralph Sheepers and celebrating the 25th anniversary of
Oh,
the self-titled, which you've also played on, and
yeah.
it's coming out on Atomic Fire with deluxe edition and bonus tracks. Now, is that why Sinners signed to Atomic Fire? Because you guys were with AFM.
Yeah, like we had a deal with Prime Fear with Nuclear Blast in the 90s, also with Sinner in the 90s. Then we had a new contract with Frontiers, an Italian record label, and Sinner moved to AFM, I think. I'm not sure.
Yep.
Long time ago. And we had and then our contract with Frontiers ran out.
Okay. The
And
Primal Fear.
Marcus Steiger, the owner of Nuclear Blast, he always listened to our albums, and I met him a couple of times on festivals. He was like, "We need you back on our label, and it's so fucking fantastic and everything." And then after we were free, we got an offer from Nuclear Blast or Atomic Fire, so to say. Then we signed the contract, and then we thought it would be good to be back at Nuclear Blast or Atomic Fire because we know these guys who are running the label for like 25 years right now. It's not only knowing them when it comes to the business side. We are still friends, like last week I met three of them at the Judas Priest show and we hugged and we talked and it's not all like, hey, can you sign this and then you get some money and the other way around. So we really are writing a lot and we are laughing a lot and all this stuff. It's not only a connection when it comes to business. And so it was pretty easy for us. Like it was a successful time with AFM and Sinner, and everything was really good. And there is no hustle or anything. But we decided it would be cool if we have like two bands under the roof of one label. So it was much more easier. And AFM is like in Hamburg, which is like 700, 600, 700 kilometers away from our hometown. And Atomic Fire is like 40 kilometers. It's like a half-hour
Okay.
ride. So it's much easier for us if we have something to talk
Okay.
to
Now,
talk about.
the production was done primarily by you and Matt for Brotherhood, but the mixing was done by Jacob Hansen. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So as I told you, as the pandemic came, we said that we needed to help each other. So we also decided to record the drums and some parts of the guitar stuff at a small studio in the south of Germany, which belongs to our tour manager and live mixing guy, Basi Röder. So he gained some money with that. And then Jacob Hansen is a longtime friend of us. He did a lot of Prime Fear albums and Sinner albums, and
Mm-hmm.
so we asked him
Correct.
if he has time to mix the album so he could gain some money as well. And we also asked Oliver Palotai from Camelot. Camelot, we know these guys for a really, really long time, and we played some festival together, and we had a lot of hangs in hotel bars and all that stuff. And Oliver Palotai, he's a German guy. He lives like 25 kilometers away from my hometown.
Right.
So it was pretty easy just to give him a call and, hey, Oli, what's up, buddy? Do you want to play some keyboard parts in the
Right.
new Sinner album? And he agreed, and then we did send him all the ideas and the files, and he came up with really, really great stuff.
Yeah. Oliver is a phenomenal keyboardist, so that's cool that he
Oh, yes.
contributed.
And he's a really nice guy.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that you got so much talent working with this new Center album. That's probably another reason why it's so good that you've got so much talent working with it. It's not just the band themselves; it's all the guest musicians and the guest vocalists.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I think it's an overall thing. But in the beginning, you have to have the idea how. Like I was at Matt's house and we were having a coffee, and then we started talking about we should do a new Sinner album. And we go, okay, so how should it sound like? And then we decided, like she said before, yeah, maybe we should go back in time and go back in our history, and maybe we should write songs like Judgment Day, Nature of Evil, Bottom Line. And we're like, yeah, why not? So I was involved in those three albums. So I
yes, you
went
are.
back home and I started immediately picking up my guitar, and I got the first idea, and I like 20 minutes later, I was at home. I was sending Matt the first idea of like, this is a riff. Do you like it? Go, wow, that's fucking amazing. And then we did the songwriting, and it was done in between. Like I wrote together with Matt. I wrote 9 songs together with him, and it was done in between 2 or 3 months. So it was really quick,
Wow.
and it was like yeah, and we just like wanted to take the heaviness and the vibe and the charisma of the albums of the 90s, take it and move it into 2022.
Yeah, that's exactly what I. That's how I would describe it. It was the Nuclear Blast era albums that what they started calling
Yeah,
power
but
metal.
the fun thing, it really has nothing to do with changing the label. It was like, it was not like, oh, we're back with Nuclear Blast, we need to be heavier. It was just
Right,
like,
right.
how should it sound like? And we were like, okay, we did like 2 rocky albums with Tequila Suicide and Santa Muerte. So we decided, so we pushed the pedal to the metal a bit more and be more heavy, and yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly
that's
it.
why.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
that's why. Yeah.
changed from that '70s Thin Lizzy, total vibe to back to much more like the '80s, like you said, heavily influenced by Judas Priest and the power vibes of the '80s essence style, the Teutonic
Yeah, but the
style.
thing is, the funny thing is that when I write some stuff, I never thought of being like Judas Priest style or whatever. I just came up with riffs and all this stuff. And okay, I'm fine. I saw Priest, and I'm a Priest fan. I started playing guitar because of Judas Priest, but I never really thought of being like stealing or cloning
No,
them.
no, no, not stealing or cloning. No, I meant
Yeah,
the dual guitar harmonies that's there.
Yeah,
The dual guitar harmonies. You can even hear some of the lyrics in the guitar harmonies. Some of the riffs, as you mentioned, that are so memorable. We Came to Rock would be a perfect example. Now, does Matt write all the lyrics?
yes.
Okay.
Matt wrote all the lyrics, so maybe sometimes I got a sentence here or there, but I think the overall credit is for Matt. He wrote a lot of stuff, and yeah, he did send it to me, and I just read it, go like, yeah, fine for me. Let's do it like that, and yeah, it
So,
was pretty easy because this time I was like, I came up with the music, all with the drums. I programmed the drums. I played the
okay.
guitar, and I did the orchestral parts on my guitar because I'm not really good in recording orchestral parts. I only got two fingers, so I put all my skills with the keyboard and everything to put something together that you could imagine the idea behind it. And yeah, and then I did send it to Matt. Matt came back with vocal lines and the melody lines and chorus ideas and all that. And what it was a really creative and productive time. And like we came up with a lot of ideas in the short period of time. Yeah, and then we went into the studio. Then we had like having a real drummer and sending our orchestral part ideas to a real pro, and he came back and it sounded fantastic. And so one thing led to another, and yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
like a
And
puzzle.
yeah, and you can hear it. I mean, you can hear it in the music. You can hear it in the like you said the guitar harmonies. But then that's interesting that you kind of came up with the keyboards, but then got Oliver Palatai to kind of come in and then really just take it to the next
Yeah,
level.
and it's like if you listen to Last Generation,
Yep.
there's this guitar melody up front. And it was originally it was planned to not being played by a guitar by something else, but I got the melody like and I got all the chords in the back, but I'm not really good in making it sounding big like an orchestral part. Like,
Right.
and
Right.
I got some help from a friend of mine from Switzerland who has his own studio. He brought in some ideas, and then we sent it to Ollie, and we go like, yeah, we needed to have it like this and that, and you have your vision in mind, and then a couple of days later, he just sent me the track. I'm like, what do you think? Do you like it so far? And I have a listen. I go like, that was exactly what I had in mind. It was like amazing. It was really good, and I was really amazed by it. He
And
did
what?
a great job.
Who decided to do the cover of the Killers?
Matt decided.
That was
You
Matt's
like,
choice.
like when we listen to a lot of different kind of music. Like we listen to Sting, we listen to country music, we listen to metal music, we listen to everything.
Right.
So and in I think it was 1984 or 1986, I can't remember exactly. We recorded a Billy Idol song called
Yes, you
Rebel
did.
Yell.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, and I think this song is like in our set list for 30 years right now. So and Rebel Yell got really nothing to do with the Sinner kind of music.
Right. Right.
So it's totally different. And so the last time, and the last time when we were on tour, we also played a song from the Police. I think it was "Message in a Bottle."
Message in a bottle.
So
Okay.
just like fun, like we make it more rocking, and we always have the idea to put some songs that doesn't really fit into our style of music, and then to change it a little bit so they could fit to our music. And so we love the Killers. They have classic songs in my eyes, and really great stuff. And so Matt came up with the idea. What do you think about this song? And I go like, do you really think so? Are you really sure? And he goes like, yeah, let's have a try. And then Alex and Matt, they recorded the song. And then I had to listen and I go like, that fits perfect to the rest of our stuff. So, and then we go like, okay, let's put it on the album.
Cool.
Simple as that.
Yeah. You guys covered Sammy Hagar too, so I mean, yeah, I mean, you've definitely.
We did a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
when we
yeah.
played private parties, we played Pat Benatar, we played John Wade, we played so many
Oh, John Waite,
stuff.
that's awesome. Babies or John
Yeah,
Waite
yeah.
solo?
What was the song of
Not missing you at all.
no change?
Change. Okay.
People talking that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then this times are hard for lovers. We did.
That's
We
cool.
had all fired up by Pat Benatar.
That's
We
awesome.
did we did Black Cat by Janet Jackson.
Oh, okay. That'd be cool. I would love to
So
hear that.
yeah, it's like yeah, it's a lot of stuff that is not really connected to cinema music.
Now, Black
But
Cat
with
by
us, like, we're really open-minded when it comes to music. I can sit down and work in my office doing all the paperwork, which is really boring, listening to Pink Floyd in the back or whatever.
right, right.
And maybe the next day I will listen to Papa Roach or 6 a.m. or Shinedown or whatever. So I'm totally wide open when it comes to music.
It's good. That's good. It's good to have that, like you said, that wide open sense of taste of music and different variety, and not just be focused on one thing. Especially if you're playing metal and writing metal, it's probably good to listen to non-metal at times. I'd love to hear your cover of Black Hat by Janet
Yeah,
Jackson.
yeah, but I'm not listening. I'm not listening to hip hop or techno music.
Right. Well, I wouldn't consider Janet
That's not
Jackson's
really my.
soul.
I think I'm too old for rap and techno and all that stuff.
I agree. I'm in the same boat, so that's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tom, thank you very much for the interview, and thank you very much for answering my questions and indulging me. And I do really love the new album. I think it's fantastic. I think
Thank you
it's the
very
best
much.
Sinner album for quite a while now.
I really appreciate it.
You
Thank
bet.
you very much.
You bet. Take care.
Yeah, have a great July 4th. Party hard and celebrate life.
I'll
Hope
definitely
to see you
celebrate
soon.
life.
Maybe we will be back in America. Maybe we'll have a nice cold one, maybe a Heineken or Budweiser.
Ooh, yeah,
Who
Heineken.
knows? Yeah, okay. So,
Definitely.
see you then.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot to record it.